Today it's very common for an organization to use Remote Access Server, RAS, which enables users to connect remotely using various protocols and connection types. By connecting to RAS over the internet, users can connect to their organization's network so they can access data files, read email, and access other applications just as they were sitting at work. Today, the most common form of remote access is Virtual Private Network, or VPN. When introducing VPN technology, the remote user is very common in today's corporations. Salespeople can always be connected to the central office, or people can have an added benefit by working from home. For the IT department, connecting to the corporate network is essential since you may need to troubleshoot a problem any time of the day. VPN connection access to the network connection dialog box or by right-clicking on your network icon in the lower right side of the taskbar. Here we can see the dialog box that allows the user to connect to the corporate VPN connection. The VPN server in a Windows VPN infrastructure runs Routing and Remote Access Server, or RRAS, which in Windows Server 2008 is the Network Policy and Access Service server role. Servers configured with RRAS can receive requests from remote access users located on the internet, authenticate these users, authorize the connection request, and finally either block the request or route the connections to private internal network segments. The 5 types of tunneling protocols used with a VPN server running on Server 2008 and Windows 7 include the point-to-point tunneling protocol, PPTP, Internet Protocol Security, or IPsec, Layer 2 tunneling protocol, L2TP, Internet Key Exchange version 2, IKE version 2, and the Secure Socket Tunneling Protocol, SSTP. Traditionally, there have been 2 types of VPNs, PPTP and L2TP with IPsec. With Server 2008, Microsoft also introduced IKE version 2 and SSTP. IKE version 2 offers quicker connections and automatic reconnection, while SSTP uses SSTP, which uses the same port as HTTP. While using port 443, you don't have to open any additional ports on your corporate firewalls. A protocol suite for securing Internet Protocol communications by authenticating and encrypting each IP packet of a data stream. IPsec also includes protocols for establishing mutual authentication between agents at the beginning of the session and negotiation of cryptographic keys to be used during the session. IPsec can be used to protect data flows between a pair of hosts or between a security gateway and a host. Layer 2 tunneling protocol, used with IPsec to provide security and is the industry standard when setting up secure tunnels. Since all clients must be authenticated, a user must connect with either a computer certificate or a pre-shared key. Another drawback with L2TP and IPsec is that it does not natively support the transversal of NAT devices. However, you can enable L2TP IPsec to cross a NAT device by changing a registry value. The Internet Key Exchange version 2, new in Windows 7 and Server 2008 R2, it uses IPsec for encryption while supporting VPN reconnection, which enables VPN connections to be maintained when a VPN client moves between wireless cells or switches and automatically reestablishes broken VPN connectivity. Different from L2TP with IPsec, IKE version 2, client computers do not need to provide authentication through a machine certificate or a pre-shared key. SSTP, or the Secure Socket Tunneling Protocol, was also introduced with Server 2008, and it uses HTTPS protocol over TCP port 443 to pass traffic through firewalls and web proxies that might block PPTP and Layer 2 tunneling protocol with IPsec. without requiring a client computer, certificates, or pre-shared key. SSTP uses SSL technology. When connecting to a VPN, the VPN connection is based on authentication and authorization. Authentication is provided by Radius, which is provided by Microsoft's Network Policy Server on Windows Server 2008 servers. You can use various forms of authentication, as illustrated in this slide. The recommended authentication would be Microsoft CHAP version or EAP-MS CHAP version 2, the second authentication method on this slide is recommended. Split tunneling allows a user to use their remote gateway when accessing the internet while connected to their corporate network via VPN. However, many organizations do not allow this because if they do not access the internet using the corporate firewalls, a user could be affected by malware, which would then be carried onto the corporate network. So it's recommended not to use split tunneling. To finish up this section, troubleshooting VPN client problems is discussed. Unfortunately, many of the errors that are displayed are very generic and are not much help in solving the problem. The checklist listed in the lesson is a good place to start. Make sure the user is using the proper user credentials. Verify the user is authorized and verify the correct authentication encryption methods are selected. It should be noted that L2TP with IPsec has a little difficulty communicating through a NAT device. You need to add a registry key as described in the knowledge base article KB 926179. Troubleshooting VPN connections. Once you're connected, you may have some other problems related to your VPN connection. Verify that routing is configured properly by pinging a remote host through the VPN. Verify that you have the proper name resolution for internal resources, and verify the VPN connection has the proper IP configuration, including that there are enough DHCP addresses available. DirectAccess is a new feature introduced with Windows 7 and Server 2008 R2 that provides seamless intranet connectivity to DirectAccess client computers when they are connected to the internet. Different from the traditional VPN connections, DirectAccess connections are automatically established. DirectAccess is an extension of VPN, allowing automatic connection over the internet. Unfortunately, it requires an IP version 6 connection. Fortunately, it does support the 6-to-4 or Teredo to allow IP version 6 connections over IP version 4 networks. Since DirectAccess is a new technology, this section discusses how a DirectAccess connection is made. As you read through the steps, you can probably guess that most of the DirectAccess configuration is done at the server. This section gives a list of items that may cause problems with DirectAccess. Again, you must make sure that the client has a global IP version 6 address, and the client must be able to reach the organization's intranet over the internet.